with this kilo flour and this kilo water, I'm going to bake a bread. Guten Morgen, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about high hydration. But yes, really high hydration. I mean 100% hydration. What does that mean? That means that per kilo flour, I'm going to use 1 kilo of water or 1 liter of water. It's the same. 1 kilo water, 1 liter water is the same thing. So it's a lot of flour and a lot of water, equal parts, 1 kilo and 1 kilo. And today we are going to do everything in real time. I'm going to start with the sourdough starter, mixing, fermenting, shaping, and baking. Here I have the dough, which is already fermented and proof ready to be shaped. Take a look at this, 100% hydration. But first, since I said that we're going to bake today on real time, I am going to turn on my oven, in which I have these 2 Dutch ovens. Both are still cold and I need to heat them. The oven, I preheated it really hot, around 480 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 250 degrees Celsius. And this is going to take me the preheating time around 40 minutes. Let's put 40 minutes. So while I preheat the 2 Dutch ovens, we're going to start with everything from scratch. So first, what I need to do, let me put this aside, is to start shaping the dough. Here's the dough, 100% hydration. Let me unmold it here on the counter. Woohoo! And take a look at this. Whoa. Wow. Here it is. As you can see, it holds its shape. It has a good gluten development because I am using strong wheat flour, strong with a huge amount of gluten, around 14-15% of gluten. So this is a flour especially prepared for this kind of hydration, 100% hydration, a lot of water. So here I have 1.5 kilos. So here I'm going to split it in 2 and shape 2 loaves. Let me do it like this. You don't have to be afraid of this kind of dough. It's a sticky dough. It is complicated, but if you do it relaxed, you won't have much of a problem. So let me put one of this aside here so I can work more comfortable. Wow, I can't believe it that we're working with 100% hydration dough. Just more flour here. Put this one. And I'm going to use 2 bannetons. I have 2 bannetons here. Common bannetons. So I'll put some flour in them too, because this is a really sticky dough. There. So I'll shape them. And we're going to bake them all today. We are not going to proof this much longer because this dough, because it has a lot of water, is going to ferment really fast. So I did some testings before this, and my final thought is that when you work with this kind of dough, 100% hydration, you need to shape them and bake them on the same day, and not too far from the shaping. Around 40 minutes, 45 minutes should be the perfect time in order to get a bread with some shape. Otherwise you get a bread over fermented, which should be a little bit flatter. So my idea is, if we can, is to achieve some kind of oven spring in the oven, some ear or kind of an ear. So that's what we are going to do in this experiment today. So I need to shape this bread, and in a few minutes we're going to bake it. The dough is fully fermented. It's fully fermented, and it's ready to be shaped. Wow, take a look at this. It's pure water. Wow. Okay. And now I need to give it some tension. Like this. There, wow, looking really, really good. I like this dough. You don't have to think too much about the hydration. If you think too much, then you'll get afraid of 100% hydration, and then you get some problems. But if you take it relaxed like this, the dough is going to work good. So, I think I have the final shape. I don't know if I can give it, looks okay. I think it's okay. Maybe I could give it some more tension, maybe on the next one. Let me finish this one like this and put it on the Banneton really fast. This way. There. Maybe I can make some more stitches here, but it's looking good. So, as soon as I finish this, I need to start checking when is it ready to be baked. Take a look at this. Wow, pure water. So now, I have one already shaped, and now time to shape the other one. You have to work fast with this. So, one side, another side. Let me remove this. And now, time to shape it again. Tension. There, like this. Let me close this end. Oh, this is sticky. And now this side. I really like the shape that it's getting. It's not that flat yet. But this is the secret. We need to shape it and bake it on the same day. The dough, of course, can be fermented overnight or cold fermentation. You can do cold fermentation, perfect, but always in a bulk fermentation, not shaped. That's what I've been testing, and that's the best results I got them when I shaped them and baked them really fast. I can keep it, of course, in bulk fermentation, in cold fermentation from one day to the other one, but the moment that you shape the bread, you need to bake it really, really fast in order to get some kind of decent bread with the shape of a bread. Otherwise, you'll get like a pizza. Okay, it's ready. Let me finish the stitches here. And here I have both breads ready. There. Okay, so now what I need to check is this. I need to poke the bread like this, and if it comes back really, really fast, like it's happening now, that means that the gluten is still strong. I need the gluten network or the gluten membrane to relax. So when it's relaxed, it's going to be the time for the bread to be baked. Not yet, but this is going to happen really fast. So both breads are okay. Let me cover them with these shower caps that I don't use. So I'll put this here. I have another one here. And we'll bake them today in the same video that we're starting now. Let me put this aside here and clean my counter. And we'll start with the recipe from scratch. Good. So, as I said, today we're talking about 100% hydration. And here is the formula, as you can see. Remember that you can download my app, Gluten Morgan Baker's Percentage, for free for Android and iPhone. Then you install this application and upload my recipe. It's really, really fast. It's in Baker Percentage. So, let's start from scratch. So, what do I need? My sourdough starter, which is here. Look at my sourdough starter. This is my real sourdough, the one that I use every day to bake bread, which is kind of active, but maybe not that active. Of course, I have a second one, a small one, the baby sourdough starter here on its side that I'm going to use for this recipe. But here I want to show you my real sourdough starter, the mother of all my sourdough starters. This is the one that I use daily. So in order to use your sourdough starter when you start baking bread, the secret of all is this. Remember that the sourdough starter is yeast. It's like the yeast that you buy in a shop, the supermarket. The thing is that this is another kind of yeast. This is an artisan yeast. This is a natural yeast that you make at home, just mixing flour and water. In my channel you have many videos on how to start your sourdough starter. So now sourdough starter is already started, but I need it to make it active. So this sourdough starter needs to be active in order to start baking bread. If it's not active, if like you were using an old or a not active yeast, when it's expired, the yeast, you can use it. You can't use it in a bread because you won't have your bread won't ferment. But the same happens when you use sourdough starter. The sourdough starter needs to be active. And how do I make it active? Just feeding it and I feed it with what? With water and flour. That's what the sourdough starter needs to eat in order to get healthy and ready to work. So here I have a spoon, and as I said, this sourdough starter is not that active. It's quite active. It was active yesterday, so I see a few bubbles there, not too many. So what I need to do is to feed it and let it grow again. There are a lot of recipes on how to do this. Most of the people uses 1-on-1, which means 1-1-1. That means 1 part of sourdough starter, 1 part of flour, and 1 part of water. All equal parts. My version or my recipe is to do it by the eye. Yes, no measuring, no weighting, anything. Just use your eyes and try to find a creamy texture, like really creamy, dense, not too hydrated. That's the secret. Because if you keep your sourdough starter a little bit lower than 100% hydration, which is equal parts of flour and water, if you keep it lower, around 90, for example, I am doing it by the eye. But if you keep it lower, the hydration of your sourdough starter, then you'll make it work a little bit slower, so you can keep it more longer active. And you can see better when it is active or not. If you have it always hydrated at 100%, the activity is really fast, and maybe it could get to the peak really fast, and then it's not active in a few hours later. If you keep it a little bit lower, your hydration a little bit lower, you'll make you'll keep it active for longer, and that's good. So what I need to do now is, as I said, by the eye, we're going to put a few spoons of flour, the same flour that I'm using for the bread. I use it here. I'm not counting, not weighting anything, no measurement, just a few spoons of flour. Now I'm going to add water. And here comes the eye method. You need to start mixing this and try to look for this texture. It needs to be creamy. Not too hydrated, not too dry. Something in the middle, like this. Yes, it's good. Take a look at this. This is a texture that I'm looking for. Creamy. It's like mousse. I don't know. It's not that dry. It's not too wet at the same time. That's why I said you need to do this by the eye. If you keep it like this, you'll have it more active for longer. So that's good. And it's easier. Just take a look at the texture and it's going to work. Now that the texture is done, I have already fed it. I can use it right now, this sourdough starter, because it needs to ferment. And when it is ready to be used, it's going to double or triple its size. It's going to be full of bubbles, like a mousse. Yes, like a mousse, like a chocolate mousse. This is a sourdough mousse. So this is going to take a few hours. And something else that is important to have your sourdough starter really active is the room temperature. It shouldn't be too cold or too hot. It should be warm. If you keep it in a warm, maybe in your kitchen, that's a good temperature for your sourdough starter to be active. So this should take around It depends on your sourdough, but it should take around like 2 or 4 hours to get ready to be used. Of course, I have another one ready to be used, so don't worry. But this one is going to be ready to use in a few hours. So remember this method, which is easier than waiting or using measurements. Just use your eyes to check the texture. If you keep it like this in low hydration, you'll have a healthy sourdough always ready to bake bread. Yes, good. So, oh, it's really sticky. So this is my real sourdough starter. Let me clean this mess a second, and now we'll start with the recipe, with the bread. Good. So, what I need? I need a bowl here. I need flour, water, sourdough starter, and salt. These are all the ingredients. Let me check the recipe, as I have already shown you, which is here in my phone. Dun, dun, dun. And today I'm going to make 700 grams of dough, which is two of this. These two ones that I have here, these two ones weigh around 700 grams, which is a good weight for a loaf. So I have flour, water, sourdough, and salt. And I'm not going to use a mixer. I could of course use a mixer, but today I'm just going to make an Autolyse. What is an Autolyse? If you don't heard about it in my channel before, it's really simple. It's mixing the flour, the water, and also I can mix the sourdough starter and the salt. Let it sit for around 1 hour, and you'll get the dough already mixed by itself. This is called Autolyse, and it was developed by a French guy a long time ago, Raymond Carbel. There are 3 methods to mix your dough. The first one, or the one that you've done all your life, is mixing with your hands. Mixing, you start mixing. The dough is going to be hard, it's going to take some time, but you can do it. The second method, most common, is to use your mixer. Like this, you can use your mixer and you'll get your dough mixed. And the third method, not that well known yet, is the Autolyse. Just doing nothing at all. Mixing like this, just combining or integrating the dough, just hydrating. What we're doing is hydrating the flour and let it sit for an hour around, and then the dough will mix by itself. This is because what we're doing, mixing by hand, but with Autolyse or with a machine, is to develop the gluten network. The gluten has 2 proteins that are already in the flour, and when they get hydrated, they start to connect themselves, and they start building this gluten network, which when it is ready, then is when you say that the dough is already mixed. So we can do it in 3 ways: by hand, with the machine, or with the Autolyse. That's what I'm going to do now. So with this scale, I'm going to start. Let me put it in grams. Okay, I'm going to start with the dough. As I said, 700 grams is going to weigh 1 bread, but I shaped 2. So you can easily, with my app, calculate the amount of bread that you want to do, or the amount of dough. Then it's really, really easy. So I recommend you to install my app. Okay, so I have 350 grams of flour, strong wheat flour. You could use, if you want whole wheat, a little bit of whole wheat flour too, if you want to. Today I'm just using white flour for all. But remember that it should be a strong flour, because in this case, using a regular bread flour won't work that good, because it's a lot of water. The same amount of flour and water. 315 grams of flour. And now sourdough starter. I want you to check this. This is the baby sourdough starter. With another spoon. And this is the texture that it should have. Take a look at the bubbles and how creamy it is. Super active. It has double or triple in size. And as you can see, all the bubbles through the glass jar. That's why I use a glass jar, a clean glass jar to see all the bubbles. So I need 60 grams of sourdough starter. Put it here. Always check the activity of your sourdough starter in order to use it. Otherwise, you won't go much longer. Okay, good. There. And now, what else? Salt. 6 grams of salt. I'm putting all the ingredients at the same time. Everything. Really, really easy. There's no need to add them later. Of course, there are a lot of methods that add the sourdough starter later and finally the salt. Today I'm adding everything from the beginning. Much better. Okay, and now comes the water, 315 grams of water. That's why I weight the water, because it's much easier and exact than using volumes or something else to measure the water. 315, the same amount of flour. I'm adding the same amount of water. 315. There, good. So, all the ingredients are in the bowl. I'm going to put this here, and here with my Danish whisk, I'm going to start mixing. Just mixing or integrating. I'm not developing any gluten, no kneading, nothing, just mixing. Like this, take a look at this, it's a mess. It's like a lake of flour. Lot of water. But don't be afraid. Good. There. Let me integrate everything. I need to see that there's no flour, dry flour left. So as soon as I see that everything is well mixed, like this, there, I'm done. That's all the work that I'm going to do today. That's all. So, what I do now is to let it sit. I'm going to let it sit, this dough, and let the Autolyse do all the work for us. Of course, I could knead with my hands, but this dough 100% is going to be hard to do it with your hands. You could do it with a mixer. It's okay with a mixer. It's going to take a while, but I think that I've done it many times. The best thing that you can do is doing this, Autolyse. So you let this sit here on the counter. Maybe you can watch a movie or something while this Autolyse happens. And here, of course, I have it already Autolyse for you. Let me grab a bowl and put some water here. And I'm going to use my wet hand. Good. So, this is the one that I just mixed. And this is the same dough mixed 1 hour before I started this video. And take a look at this. Let me water my hand. And I'll pick this one. Look. By the moment, there's no gluten development at all. I can tear it apart. As you can see, this is not yet a dough. It's just like a puree or something. And here, take a look at this one. 1 hour later. Whoa. Look. It's really wet. It's sticky. It's wet. But now there is gluten development. This is a dough. And it's done by itself. Look. Let me put it here on the counter. And here I have it. Look. 100% hydration. And it has mixed by itself. No mixing, no machine, no hard work, nothing. Just let it sit for an hour and let the gluten do its magic. Look, beautiful. 100% hydration. 1 kilo water, 1 kilo flour. And it holds its shape. That means that we have a good gluten development. This is good. This is looking good. So, give it some more shape like this. It's sticky, don't be afraid of it. Always use your wet hands. And now I'll put it here on the bowl again. Now, what we have to do is let it proof. We needed it to or ferment. We needed to work and let the fermentation goes on. That's going to take, if always your sourdough starter was really active. If it's not that active, it's going to take a while or maybe forever. But if you have your sourdough starter really active, this should take normally around 3 or 4 hours. If also the room temperature, it's warm, not too cold or not too hot. So if it's warm and your sourdough starter is healthy and active, this should ferment in around 4 hours. So take a look at this, it's full of water, and what we need to do in the meanwhile is to check how is the gluten developed. If you see your dough that it still holds its shape, you don't have to do anything. But if you see that the shape, the dough starts to relax a little bit and you see that it's a little bit flattened, you can wet your hands again and make some stretching and foldings to give it some more tension, like this. Don't expect to be like a rock. This is 100% hydration dough, really sticky, really complicated to work, but it is really satisfactory to work with this dough when everything is going good. So the dough is by the moment ready, so I'll cover it, and now we need the dough to let it proof, to do its bulk fermentation. That I said it's going to take around 4 hours, more or less. It depends on what I said, the sourdough starter and the temperature. So we don't have to wait 4 hours because I have it already here with me, and it is here ready. And as you can see, I put some oil here so I can detach it from the bowl easier, but now it's fully fermented. This is the dough that we started at the beginning of the video, the one that I divided in two and shaped the breads. This is the same dough that I used. So that's how I started, and before I shape it again, let me check how are our breads. We still have a few minutes to wait. And take a look at this. Wow. I think they're almost ready to go. Not too much. Yes, we have 15 minutes left, so that's what we are going to do. Good, looking good. So let me shape this another bread again while we wait, and we'll be ready to bake them really fast. Good. Let me put some flour or semolina on the counter again, and you'll see how I shape it again. Here it comes. Wow! You have to be fast. Okay, so again here, and now when I finish it like this, ready, close one end. Let me close the other end. And it's done. Good. Sticky. There. Good. So, now a little bit more flour. Another banneton that I have here. Good. And I'll transfer it to the banneton. Good. I have to be fast. There. Final stitches. Good. Covering. And I still have around 13 minutes to start baking. Let me clean this mess and we continue. Okay, the oven is ready and the Dutch ovens are ready. And first of all, I need to check if the bread is ready. Okay, so wow. Take a look at the bubbles that this bread has. And let me check this. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. If I poke, it comes not that fast. The secret here is the secret. We need to get a balance between if it's ready or not ready to be baked. This happens really fast. If you let it sit too much time, we're going to end up with flat bread. So I think it's okay. I have bubbles. It has relaxed a little bit. In some points, not that much, but here it looks like it's okay to be baked. So let's do it and let's see what happens. So let me grab both Dutch ovens. Use my gloves. I think I should change them. No? Yes, it's time to change, to buy some new ones. And let me bring both. Wow, this is hot and heavy. Both Dutch ovens. Wow, here. And I'm going to do it fast. Wow, good. So some semolina, bottom, the skillet, and some semolina also on the bottom of the bread. One here, and here comes the other one. And as soon as I unmold them, I need to cut them or to use my lamb to slash it and try to open it in order we can get some kind of ear. And there's also something else that we're going to do in a few minutes that I'll show you later. Let me unmold them first. There goes one. As you can see, they don't hold their shape that much. They are pure water. And now let's do this slash really fast. Good. Sometimes when you slash the bread, you don't get this ear that easy in this kind of really wet dough. So the normal thing that you do is to cover them and then open them at the middle of the baking. And you should get beautiful oven spring. This kind of bread, which is really complicated, I'm going to let them sit there or bake for 3 minutes, and then I'll open them. I will try to adjust or to help again this scoring so we can get some kind of ear. So let me put 3 minutes here, and in 3 minutes I'll open them and slash them again. Let's see. Okay, 1 minute, and I'm going to take them out for a second. I'm going to slash them again. This is a new technique. I hope it works. So I help the oven spring a little bit. Oh, there. Dun dun. 3 minutes. Here comes the first one. Another one. Oof, this is kind of an exercise. Let me see. And I see if I can do this and help it. It's growing. But I'm going to open it. It looks good. It's not looking that bad. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I can cut this a little bit more. And now I'll cover them again. Oof, I made the gluten. 1 and 2. Okay, now let them here for around 10 minutes. Okay, time's up. Let me see what's happening here. I'm afraid. Whoa. 1. Oof, what an exercise this is. Another one. Ow, it's hot. I need to change these gloves. Let's see what's going on here. Wow. Not that bad, not that bad. It looks better in this one, but what I can do now is again to try to open it a little bit more again here. As I said, this is a really complicated bread to get, but it's looking good. 100% hydration. Good. Let me open this if we can get a little bit more oven spring. This one is almost closed. Who knows? But they're not flat. The good thing is that they're not flat. Remember the amount of water we're using. Good. Okay. We put them there. And I'll keep them just 2 more minutes with this on, with the lid on. 2 more or 3 minutes, and I'll take it again out. And we'll have them ready. Now they're looking good. They're looking good. Wow. 3 minutes more. It's complicated, I know. We're working with 100% hydration. Okay. Last time that I'm going to take the Dutch ovens out of the oven. 1 minute left, less than a minute. This last minute is always, I think it's longer. No, not that longer. Okay, wow. 1 out again. 3rd or 4th time, I don't remember. But this is complicated. I said from the beginning, this is not an easy dough. So let's do it again. Woo. Wow. Well, look a little bit better. They're not flat. That's the main issue, most important thing. Okay, shut up. There, just 1 second more. Let me put my glove again. Ooh, it's hot. And now, yes, finally, let me get them golden brown. And now I'll put them around 20 more minutes. And we'll finish this. But hopefully no. Finally, we have some decent bread. 100% hydration. Okay, maybe I can change my gloves. 1 minute. Ta-da. Oh, what? Okay. 3, 2, 1. There. Okay. Let me put my gloves again. Oh. Aha! I told you. New gloves. Okay. Whoa. Nice. Thank you. Okay. Here. Let me bring back the Dutch oven finally with the bread. And let's take a look at it. Wow. Ooh. It's hot. Here they are. Both. Well, quite good. Oof. And light. Is it not flat? It's not flat. Wow. That's the main thing. Here, another one. Checking. Great. Okay, so now let me put them on this cooling rack and I let them cool down a few minutes and then we slice them up. Take a look at that. Okay. Yes? No? Okay. More? There? No? Okay. There. Okay, so let me see. They're still a little bit warm, but it's time to slice them up. Okay, let me put them here. And here I have this cutting board and both breads. So, what do you think about them? Which one you like the most? This one or this one? They really look quite nice, since they have a lot of water. If you let them ferment more time, maybe if you do a cold fermentation with the loaves already shaped, my experience is that you end up with a flat bread. You won't get even this small ear that they have, you won't get this kind of ear if you bake them overnight. That's my experience. I would like you to try them. It is complicated since it has a lot of water. This dough ferments really fast. So it is better to, maybe if you want to make the bulk fermentation in the fridge, it's okay. But then as soon as you shape them, you need to bake them quite fast, as I did today in this video. That's my experience. Try it. Let me see in comments what did you find out. And another thing about the 100% hydration bread, they're okay, but if you do a 70% hydration, it's okay too, and I think maybe it's even better. This is just like a test, like I'm testing more on an experiment. That's what I mean. This is like an experiment to see that if we can bake a 100% bread, but it's not the main thing at all. A 70% hydration bread is it's okay too. So let me open this one and see how's the crumb. Oh, beautiful. Since we did it really, really fast, beautiful crumb. Great. Let's check the other one. Wow. Great. 2. Easy bread. The secret here is to do it fast. You need to do it fast and bake it fast. Shape them and bake them really, really fast. That's the main thing in this kind of bread. But they're looking good. They're good bread. But if you, as I said, if you make a 70-80% hydration, you get the piece of bread like this one. So, mission accomplished. We did it. We did a good job. Let me see in comments what do you think about this, or what kind of another experiment you want me to do. And that's all by the moment. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Guten Morgen, everyone.